Preservation is communication with the future. Preservation requires the validation of communication from the past. Preservation standards define the context for the communication from the past to be understood. Preservation starts with four principal goals: authenticity, integrity, chain of custody, and original arrangement. Authenticity is the maintenance of a link between a digital object and its original source. Integrity consists of maintaining an uncorrupted copy of the digital record. Chain of custody requires monitoring the storage locations and accesses. Original arrangement requires maintaining digital objects as records within a record series. There are multiple interpretations of properties associated with each preservation environment. The diplomatics community requires that records, treaties, be maintained forever. The National Archives and Records Administration requires that records be organized as elements of a record series, that a retention schedule be managed for each series, and that submission agreements be managed for each record series. Digital libraries rearrange records to conform to the Dewey Decimal System and base retention upon use. The continuum community recognizes that records are reused by other federal agencies and that the transition of records should be tracked between agencies. This requires the ability to integrate processing steps with an archive and track the provenance of records across record series. There are common requirements across the multiple styles of preservation environments. All interpretations need access controls, integrity, naming, and metadata. For access controls, all archives assume that deposited records can only be modified by the archivist. Integrity, all archives require a way to maintain integrity and verify the digital records have not been corrupted. Naming, all archives require a way to name and organize records. And metadata, all archives require a way to save representation, provenance, and administrative information for each record. They also require a way to search the metadata. Multiple communities have developed trustworthiness assessment criteria that can be used to verify the trustworthiness of preservation systems. The National Archives and Records Administration developed the requirements for an electronic records archive, ERA. This entailed the definition of 853 tasks that needed to be performed and was based on the practices for hard copy records. The Research Library Group and NARA developed a specification for a Trusted Digital Repository Checklist, TDR. This defined the tasks that should be done for a user to trust the repository. The RLG NARA standard was superseded by the TRAC standard for Trusted Repository Audit Checklist, which was developed by OCLC and the Center for Research Libraries. The audit checklist enumerated tasks for sustainability, management, and preservation. The current standard is the ISO 16363 standard for trusted digital repositories. The standard was based on an initial effort by the Mission Operations and Information Management Repository Audit and Certification Working Group. Take 7 minutes and complete exercise 97. Which of the preservation assertions should be applied to a digital library? Do you need authenticity, integrity, chain of custody, and original arrangement? Please load a paragraph describing your result into the Lifetime Library in the subcollection class INLS 624 by the end of today's class. Please turn in homework assignment number 13 by noon on Monday of the next week. Identify 5 assertions that a preservation environment should enforce. Which assertions should be enforced on file input? Which assertions should be verified periodically? A resource is Chapter 4 of the Policy Examples Workbook.